Is SMMA still a viable business model in 2025 and beyond to actually make money online? That's what I want to cover today and talk about all the pros, all the cons, and everything in between so you can finally get the right answer to should you start an SMMA, or if you already run one, should you continue running one, or perhaps look at other vehicles like the hybrid e-com model, like the AI agencies, and everything of that nature. So first thing first is, before I answer the question, or rather said to answer the question, we have to, sort of define what is SMMA and what it does. So SMMA stands for Social Media Marketing Agency, which is really just a fancy term for digital advertising agency, right? That's really what it is. And we can see that those companies have been around ever since online, TV became a thing. And before that, it was just, normal advertising agencies, and they would do like newspaper and stuff. And so if we look at what's happening, we can see a trend from, newspaper advertising to like TV advertising to now social media advertising. And now you see that the shift is moving towards whatever the trend is heading to. And so that's kind of a bit of a demonstration of where SMA has evolved from and where it's going. And then I guess we should probably look at, well, what does a marketing agency do? Well, a marketing agency helps a company promote themselves better to get out to more people so they can make more money. So let's just ask a quick few questions and answer them. Do companies want to continue growing into the future? Yes. Do companies need to get more customers? Yes. Are companies always looking to get more customers? Yes. Are there multiple hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of new companies starting each year? Yes. So look at the answer to those 5 questions we just asked. They're all yes. And so for each one of those, you can clearly state that, well, we can probably safely assume that running a marketing agency would help all of these things. Therefore, why would a marketing agency go away? Well, that's where the twist comes in. We'll talk about that in a second. But from a base level, we can see that it doesn't look like marketing agencies are going to go anywhere, because people are going to continue to grow, people are going to continue to need new customers, and people are going to continue to start new businesses. And therefore, by nature, SMMAs will be around. However, here's where there's a bit of a twist that comes in. The SMMA that we both know and love, that we know so well, which is the social media marketing agency, coined by Iman Gaji, this typical, cold call to get clients, set up their Facebook ads in Goa level and then run some ads for them. That is where I think the market is going to change a little bit, because what I'm noticing now is that not that that's getting oversaturated, but people are starting to catch on, and people are starting to kind of be sick of these, little 16-year-old kids who promise the world, underdeliver, and don't really do anything. And so where I think SMMA is actually going to change is on the back end in terms of the deliverables and how the actual business model is structured. I don't think that on the front end, SMMA in and of itself is going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's not. Businesses need new customers. New businesses will always get started. Therefore, there will always be a demand for people needing more customers, needing marketing. Therefore, marketing agencies will always exist. The same way that humans will always need water, anyone selling water will always make money. Okay? Really that simple, right? It's just a basic human thing. The only time I could see an SMMA or social media marketing agencies die is one of two things. One, social media dies, highly unlikely. Two, every business in the world goes under and no one runs a business anymore. Highly unlikely, as therefore our economy would have collapsed and we probably have bigger problems than you trying to figure out what business to run. The change is, I think, where we're headed, and I think what companies are going to be expecting. And so I think the idea of starting a marketing agency is phenomenal so long as you're open to adapt and learn, right? With the addition of AI becoming more prevalent in this world, there's a lot of people now running AI offers mixed in with SMMA, which I think is awesome. I think that's the path which most of us will be headed down, is adapting these new things that are coming into the market and then using them to help their customers get more money. And so to summarize everything we've covered, is SMMA going anywhere? No. Literally, no. It cannot die unless the economy collapses, and therefore you and I would probably die. So there's bigger problems than should we run an SMMA or an e-com store or arbitrage, etc. Right? There's a lot bigger problems than that. And so by nature, by definition, SMMA is not going to go anywhere because companies always need new customers. The way that I think the market's going to filter out is how those people get those customers and also what the deliverables look like. I think that's where the market is going to change a little bit. I could be entirely wrong. This is just my opinion. And what do I know? I'm just some kid sitting here with a mic and a MacBook and some orange glasses and a Wildcat hat. Okay? So take this with a grain of salt. You formulate your own opinions. Go get all your own information and then make a decision from there. But I think that the companies, SMMAs, if you will, the marketing agencies who are going to dominate are the ones who are going to provide the most value, solve the biggest problems, and also be the best at adapting. And so if you want to start one of these businesses, I think something you have to be really, really good at is ability to read and analyze and foresee trends, and also your ability to adapt. How fast can you change? Right? How fast can you adapt? For example, if you look at Apple versus BlackBerry, BlackBerry was not able to adapt to the rapidly growing new technology that Apple was putting out, and therefore BlackBerry went under and Apple skyrocketed. Why? Because Apple was able to adapt and BlackBerry was not, and people didn't want what BlackBerry was selling because they weren't adapting to the new market. And so that's the only thing you have to be careful for moving forward in the future is being able to adapt. Being able to read that stuff and change your business as you go. So there you go. Now you know SMMA isn't going anywhere and you can start one. But just know that starting one is probably going to take a lot more effort than it did 3 years ago when anyone was nilly-willy giving away their money to run Facebook ads. Everyone has run Facebook ads by now. A lot of people have been scammed, if you will. And so it doesn't just cut it to go up to someone and say, hey, I'm going to run your ads. There's more involved now.